Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Hafner. Welcome to Sports Psych in a Minute, your weekly resource for insights and tips into the psychological side of equestrian sport. One of the things I think that we all know is that in general, it's hard for most of us to ask for help. There seem to be certain kinds of things that are easier to ask for help with. My sense is those are things that tend to be more technical and perhaps less personal. They can ask for help in terms of riding technique. They ask for help in terms of application of the aids or timing or feel. On the psychological side of things, it's easier to ask for tips about specific things they can do in the context of competition or preparation, or things like help with things like goal setting, things that are concrete, they're easier to put down on a piece of paper, and ultimately in many ways less personal. One of the things I find that it's much harder for people to do is to ask for help with things like anxiety, self-doubt, lack of confidence, worry, the kinds of things that are both emotional and also tend to be more personal. To ask for help with those things requires each of us to be vulnerable, that in many ways, often in our day-to-day lives, doesn't make a lot of sense, especially if we're in highly competitive environments. We all know some situation where someone has exposed a vulnerability and that others around them use that as an opportunity to be less than kind. In dealing with things that are personal, things like these sorts of vulnerable feelings, I recommend a number of steps for people. And perhaps they're not steps that happen chronologically, but things that can happen all at the same time. The first piece of it, which is something I come back to, for those of you who know me, I say it almost in every topic I talk about, is about connection and community. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are going to have your best interests or join with you in a caring and kind way to help you move forward towards your goals in addressing vulnerabilities. People that are not going to take the opportunity to be unkind in those moments. Along the line, you might find other people who share similar vulnerabilities, and the idea of talking with each other and processing those things can really be a powerful help and assistance in finding pathways forward. In addition to finding a group of people or a tribe or people to share this with, the second piece that I suggest for people are to find resources where you can learn more about your own emotional life and about how the psychology of emotion works, and also learn more about the psychology of change. I was lucky enough to do a seminar last weekend on show nerves and anxiety. We got a chance to talk about the nature of emotions, how they impact us, what kinds of techniques and strategies are really helpful, what kinds of things that you can do to transform both your experience and the effect of those emotions on your riding. Sometimes that knowledge and that education is really helpful. Certainly almost all the time that group or community of supportive individuals is helpful. A lot of the times, in order to really make a substantial change, it requires some consistency and some challenging ourselves to take the risk to work with someone individually in a very intimate, private, safe setting so that you can sort through things over time. Like most things that we like to change, our feelings are things that require consistent effort over time. We always or often understand and respect that when we're training our horses, that this is a process and that it takes time, it takes consistency, and the introduction of appropriate challenges as a horse's training and level of experience advances. A lot of the same things are true for people in dealing with those sorts of things, dealing with those more personal aspects of our riding. If you are challenged by one or more of these emotional challenges, something like self-doubt, lack of confidence, anxiety, fear, nervousness, worry, take the time to seek out a community of supportive individuals. Take the time to find ways to educate yourself about how it is that you work, your own psychology and the psychology of change. Take the step of reaching out to get help from someone who has experience in assisting people in this personal transformation and change.